So hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Amrita aka the Coffee Chapter और आज हम करने वाले हैं April TBR wrap up. The video is a bit late because I was busy in few things. So yeah, so in April I read total six books. Five were the part of my April TBR pile, and one was actually the part of my reread thing that I wanted to read few books. Reread few books because either I have forgot the content or I like the book too much, but the contents are blur. So in that scenario, okay, so total six books I have read. If I talk about the genres I have read, then I think I have covered all the genres in the month of April. It was contemporary, it was historical, it was non-fiction, it was fantasy, young adult fantasy, and it was a psychological thriller. So yeah, so I have covered almost like all the genres that I have read. And so I suppose, okay, so these were my prompts for the April. So that's now it's because I have read all the books, so now it's time to discard them. I'll just keep them away, so I'll discard them later. Now I'll do one thing. I'll just clip on this mic and then we'll start with the April TBR wrap up thing. Okay, so the first book that I read in April, like if I just talk about the first book in for the April is Ikigai. So it's a non-fiction book, and I have rated around 3.75. Okay, and if I talk about this book, then this book it actually talks about the Japanese concept of Ikigai, which means finding the purpose of life, which actually gives you the motivation to or the goal to live the life happily and a longer life. The book talks about longevity. The book talks about the centurions and the super centurions which are spread across the world, but is basically based in most number of super centurions or centurions are based in the Okinawa city of Japan, and there is a small town village is there, Ogimi or Ogami if I'm pronouncing it right. So that is the one thing, and there are some other concepts other than Ikigai which actually builds around the Ikigai, like Ichigo Ichii or Wasabi, I think, Wabi Sabi, yeah, Wabi Sabi if I'm not wrong, yeah, Wabi Sabi. So Ichigo Ichii talks about the concept of living in the present rather than dwelling in the past or getting worried for the future. And so it talks about like you have to live in the present. That is very important, and to live a longer life you should have a purpose. Like even if you're retired or something like that, you need to keep on doing few things. Like in the village of Ogimi or Ogami, if I talk about, there is a cultural hub which has been there, which is run by the centurions or the old age people, and they do certain activities to keep themselves busy. They take an early morning walk, they do their home gardening, kitchen gardening, so that they can grow more of their own fruits. And there is one more citrus fruit which is being mentioned, is this one, which is considered to be very citrus and is basically I try to find that fruit out, but that fruit is only been grown in Japan because the conditions are favorable for that. So that is also the part of their diet. Like, and it also says that if you want to have a food, you should always eat around 70 or 80% of your hunger, which means you should not fill up your stomach entirely and leave some space. Walking is the part of the exercise that you should do continuously, so that the movement can be there in your body. Okay, another concept that has been there, it's wabi sabi. So wabi sabi basically talks about the embracing the imperfections, because we always run, like in today's time we just say we run towards the perfection, we all want to be perfect, but instead of that we should take a pause and embrace the imperfections that we have in here and there in our lives, in the people around you, or in the society, like whatever it is. All right, so that book talks about this one. I like the book. I have like done one marking over here. I don't know, because the last time I read the book, there are few things that I understood. Now again, when I picked it up for the second time, I actually got like you discover other few things. So there are certain books when you read them again and again, there are always something new that comes up. Okay, you might miss something, or you don't understand. That is not the right time to understand those parts. So yeah, so the book is actually about that. I really enjoyed the book. It might sound crazy, but I guess this book is going to become one of those books which I'll pick up every year now to read once. So might possibly I'll reread this book again next year in 2027. Let's see. I can't commit right now, but yeah, I'll love to read this one. Okay, so the next book was the part of my. This book was part of my 13 books, 26 books for 2026, and the 13 series that I had there. So this is the first book of the series of the Cruel Queen series that has been there. So let me talk about the book first. Like if I just say, the story is very whimsical type, and it is also dystopian and whimsical. If I say, and it's, it's little bit, the characters are confused. I would say there is no perfect uh, you know distinction between the protagonist or the antagonist. It's all blurred. The lines are really really blurred. The characters are really gray, and the lines are really blurred between the characters. Now, if I talk about the story of this book, that the story covers between Jude. I'll just keep this book over here. Yeah, it's visible. So the story talks about Jude and her sisters. So Jude parents were being killed by this monster who comes their house once and take the sisters away. Jude is one of the twins, and she has one more elder sister. Uh, so Jude now is being raised in this fairyland by the monster and his wife. And the elder sister is actually the child of the monster. Jude's elder sister is a child of monster, and her mother. But now her own parents are being killed, and now they are being there, and they've been raised. They're being raised like they are being given the equal opportunities to learn to do, like whatever opportunities were being given to the Vivian, who's the elder sister, is the same opportunities are being given to Jude and Taryn, the second character, the second sister. Uh, so the things goes like that, and Vivian always wanted to run away from the fairyland and go back to the human world, whereas Jude thinks that this is the world where she belongs to. Okay, and Vivian always has this really angst against the monster, like his own biological father, which is who's Medoc, they named as. But and she's like she remorses his father, but on the other hand, Jude has some love and hate kind of a relationship. She hates him because he killed his father, their parents, and she loves him for who he is. So it is like that. And if I say, so the story keeps on going. Jude faced a lot of bullying in the school where she and Taryn studies. They both face a lot of things, but Taryn does not fight. Okay, and Jude always fights, so she always gets being targeted by the prince and his gang. The prince name is Carden. Now Carden is also a very complex character. He loves to torture Jude because he also has certain things which have been going on in his own life. So he just wants to have some kind of an authority somewhere. So because of that, he keeps on torturing and bullying Jude. But Jude also starts retaliating back. Retaliating back. Okay, and then how the story goes further, what happens, the king, there is a change of kings which takes place. A king has to retire, new king has to come, new king has to be appointed, but there are certain things which happens. How the Jude gets involved in all that scenario which has been taking place. What is the role of Carden over here? uh, what is the Madoc, the monster, the Vivian's father or Jude's parents killer does in all these things. And how Jude, like I have seen that Jude has some, by the story ends, you will find Jude doing something which nobody can expect it, nobody would have expected from Jude, instead of being expected from the garden. So it's like that. Okay, so she does few things like that. The writing is good, although if I talk about the book, I did not check the book when I brought it. There are around 6 pages which are missing from this book, but at the end, like in the end, I think 30th chapter, if I say, yeah, in the chapter number 30, 5 or 6 pages were missing, or like in the last 2 3 chapters, 5 6 pages were missing, if I'm not wrong. but still I got the gist of the story, like what the story was about, like how the story was moving forward. And writing is very good. I think the writing is good. It was flowy. It went like very very easy, and it was like easy to read. It was not something like very complex characters which were being there. Uh, but yeah, the characters are very very gray. Like they don't have the distinction between like who is the hero and who is the villain. So they are like the mixed. Everything is just jumbled in the entire story. So this is how the story flows, and this is the part of the fantasy young adult, and I have given it 3.5 stars, because there are certain things that personally I did not like in this one. Like they say that the series gets better when you like move from second or from like first book to second or third book, because in the first book there is a lot of bullying, and the way the Jude was reacting, I personally did not like it. How the Carmen was, how the characters were behaving, and so there are a lot of things which were being there. Okay, so yeah, so this is the my second book for the April. Now let comes to the third book, that is the third part of the trilogy, Shiva trilogy, that is Oath of Vayuputras. I hope it stays. Yes, it will stay. So the last part of Shiva trilogy, that is Oath of Vayuputras, talks about the journey of the fight between Shiva and the evil, which is you'll get to know by the second book, that what is the actual, what is the in the third book you'll get to know what actually the evil is, and how Shiva only just want to remove that evil from the society, so that the people can survive, the people should not face its consequences, how the people are turning really against it, like people are turning really like protective to protect that evil. So Shiva just wanted to do that. Okay, and this like if I talk about, there was part of the story of the book, like I liked the first and second book a lot. uh, Second book, second book, there were certain things which I did not like it, which is my religious belief, I would say. The third book also has certain part of those, but there are parts in this book which actually uh, made my eye glistening. I did not cry, but like my eyes glistened at that time. Uh, s- uh, in that particular scene, like what happens to Sati. If you have known Sati, like if you know the mythology of Shiva, Sati, and Parvati, you know like Sati does not survive because of his father, because of her father. So something like that happens in here, but the kind of cruelty that is being shown in the book, and like in the description of that scenario, like the scenario has been changed from what we have learned, or what we know, like how the Mata Sati left the world, is completely different. But there are a lot of cruelty that happens over there, but also the bravery of Sati that is being shown, because here in the Shiva trilogy, Sati is being shown as a warrior, the real Sati, the Shakti. So Sati is a Shakti, and Shakti is a warrior. So she, like the kind of a warrior she is, like the kind of a decisions she takes, and the kind of a you know responsibility she takes if anything goes wrong, even though she was not at completely fault, she still takes the responsibility and burden herself so much. And so yeah, these things happen. There are a lot of certain characters in this book, which in the story, which actually plays uh, you know really cunning roles, and they actually create problems around Shiva, so that Shiva cannot destroy the evil, because they think the evil is something which is protecting them and giving them the life that they need. Okay, so there is a line in this one that says the good can become, if good, if something is good and it becomes too good, it becomes evil. Okay, so you need to remove that evil out from the society for a certain period of time, and when the time comes back, the good again can come back to the society in the form of good, not in the form of the evil. So that is the main concept. I'm not able to quote the perfect line from that, but that kind of a line is been there. If I talk about the writing, Amish Tripathi, like what you can say, like I've read his two books. This is my third one, so I really like the writing. It was story, it was mythological fiction. So yeah, the stories, you will not find the exact things around it. And here the Shiva has been shown as a mortal person. He's not like some god who is like, who has not taken a birth and who will not die, but he's the person who has taken a birth and he will die at the end. So there are certain part of the stories that goes around the character of Ganesha, the character of Kartikeya, Nandi, Veerbhadra, Kritika, all these and then there, and I felt that there are certain characters which actually resembles from Mahabharat too. If I just say, there's one character called Parvateshwar. So the Parvateshwar characters, when I was reading character of Parvateshwar from the first book that I read from the Shiva trilogy, and when I picturized the character of Parvateshwar in my mind, it always gave me the idea of Bhishma Pitama from Mahabharat. I don't know. It was just my assumption, or if you have read this book, you have also got the same kind of an feeling that actually the Parvateshwar actually gives you the idea of that. I don't know. So yeah, I like the book, and I have given it I think 3.5 stars if I'm not wrong. I have written actually everything because I always forget. Yeah, it is. I have given 3.5 stars to it because there are certain things that I did not like it. Okay, and I don't agree with. It is my personal opinion. You can have your own personal opinion. Like if you can give it. The first book was, I think, 4.5 stars, and by the second book and the third book, I don't know, but they'd gone. And this is the most chunkiest book of all the three books that I've read, the entire series. So I am done with one complete series that I started way long back. Okay, the next book is Never Lie by Frida McFadden. Okay, this is a psychological thriller, and I have given it 3.75 stars. So this is another genre that I have read. If I talk about the book, okay, if I talk about the book, then I think the book is written in such a manner. Okay, the book is written in such a manner that you will this. If I talk about the story is it's easy to read. It is very flowy. Okay, uh, but certain parts of the story is predictable. Okay, you can easily predict it out that okay, this is something which is, which is going fishy around here. Yes, some parts you cannot predict, but some parts you can predict. Okay, so it's not was something very unpredictable. Okay, like it is, oh, it came as a shock. It was nothing like that. The story was, at certain parts were predictable. You'll get to know that this part is fishy. If you have read this book, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, now, if I talk about the story of this book, then the story actually revolves around Tricia, the woman, and his husband. What was the name of the husband? I forgot. Ethan. Tricia and Ethan are the two characters in this book who have been who they just wanted to see a house because they have recently got married, and they wanted to see a house. So they go and to want to see a house of their, like, of their dreams, where they can start a family or something like that. But because of the heavy snowstorm, they get stuck in that house. Uh, there are a lot of things that are happening in this house. The discovery of and the house actually belongs to a psychologist who has been disappeared 3 years back. Nobody knows where she went. Is she alive? Is she dead? Nobody knows about them. And the moment Tricia they reach to that house, she starts getting the gnawing feeling that there's something is wrong in this house, or something wrong has happened in this house, and she does not feel like going inside or seeing inside. All the time she prays that I have to, and Ethan was very excited to have this house, but Tricia, in her mind, she was not happy to get this house particularly, and she just wanted to get rid of this house, that I don't want this house. But she doesn't know how to say her husband, because she hardly knows her husband like for 6 months, the time they dated and they got married, so it was a very short span of time. Okay, and the story keeps on continuing. Tricia discovers certain hidden areas of the house which is not known by anyone. She gets certain tapes in the house which is the recordings of the psychologist and the conversation between psychologist and her patients. When she was alive, she used to record the sessions. So she started listening those. She uncovers lot of things while listening those tapes, and there are lot of fishy things which are happening over there. So the story keeps on continuing, and the I would say the interaction between Ethan and Tricia also changes in the story. Ethan is also kind of an unpredictable person, because Tricia doesn't know like at which point how he will react. Although Tricia always says that I have married to him since last 6 months. He has always been good to me. He has never raised a voice. He's very nice, very sweet, something like that. But also at the same point, she is uh, very hesitant to say things to Ethan, because she feels like I don't know how he will react, how no how what will be his response. So she just doesn't say a lot of things to Ethan. Okay, but yeah, like on the internet or on the Bookstagram or on the booktube, like I have heard that this is one of the best book of Frida McFadden, but I did not agree with that part. I felt this book was not that good. It was good, but it was not that good. Like you will be hooked. And to be very honest, I got anxiety at a certain point of time. Like I was like, अब क्या होगा अब क्या होगा अब क्या होगा I was like this. I was like अब क्या होगा अब क्या होगा what shall I do, shall I read, shall I stop, because I'm just scared to read like what will happen, because uh, other than like reading thrillers I was more scared of having some supernatural activity in the book. I was more scared of that rather than scared of what I'm going to discover. So yeah, so that is the one thing that I was little bit shaky from inside. Other than that, and it happened just once when I was uh, reading a day, like I think first or second day it was being there when I was reading the book. And when I kept that book, the next day when I was about to, I was like, पढूं कि नहीं पढूं यार. I just start some other book and leave it like for 2 3 days, and then I'll start back again, because I had to finish. I want to know what happens in the end. If like what I'm thinking right now, is it correct or not? The part that I'm thinking is correct or not. So I was not sure, but I really wanted to know. But at the same time, I was feeling anxious. कि क्या करूँ, पढूं कि नहीं पढूं. But yeah, I put the book next day. I started reading, and there was nothing supernatural, so I was happy with that. But yes, this book gave me that little bit of anxiety of like, you know fear that कि ऐसा तो कुछ नहीं निकलेगा ना, because I don't read supernatural or such certain things. I'm really scared of those things. Yeah, writing is good. Story keeps you like, it will keep you hooking. There is nothing, no doubt in that. It will keep you hooked. But it is, I think it is not one of the best book of Frida McFadden. Oh, this is my first book that I have read. I'm looking forward to read more of her books. So I'll see whether I'll get my 5 star from the Frida McFadden books. I really want to have one 5 star from at least from the Frida McFadden writing of her books. And but I enjoyed the book. It's not like I did not. I enjoyed the book, but yeah, it was not like very high standards that it is settled. Next book, that is the book which is The Vanishing Cherry Blossom, and as you can see, like how the book cover is, so the way the book cover is, exactly the story is beautiful. It is a beautiful, cozy, sweet story uh, of Sakura, of a shop named as Sakura Blossom and Sakura, and it only opens during the spring season. There has to be a certain time when the door of this shop opens, and it only opens when you are reading the particular book and a particular chapter and a particular line. At the same time, the owner or the girl who's present in the book Sakura, in the shop Sakura, picks up the same book, reads the same page, same line, then only the shop appears. So it's like a bridge between the two worlds. And if I talk about the story, then this story is actually, if people are having certain regrets, and they of the people that have, that those who have gone, and but still they have certain feeling that, oh, I should have said that, I should have done that, what if I have done this, what I have done that. So if in that case, if that is the thing a person is having, and the person reads a book, okay, and it only happens in the cherry blossom, in the spring season when the cherry blossoms are there, it only happens at that time. So the this pathway appears. There are cherry blossom tree which has all the shades of cherry blossom, from white to pink, different shades of pink and deep pink. It has been there, and there's a beautiful sakura shop where coffee is being served, and you have to sit at a reserved table, and then you will be transported to the time when you had that particular regret regarding a person who is no more. Might be your father, might be your mother, might be your the friend, might be your spouse, or it can be a lover, or it can be like anyone. Yeah. So the story is really cozy. Like, so that's the gist of the story. The book is really cozy. It's hardly 4 chapters are been there in this book. It's a really short book. If you just see, it's a really short book, and I like the book a lot, and I have given it 3.75 stars. It's a contemporary fiction, so I've given it 3.75 stars. I really like the book. It is really sweet. It's like you just pick it up. Like if any day you are in a mood to read a cozy book, just go for it. This one, don't just think, just pick it up and read. Okay, and don't use your mind. This is that book. I don't know. I love the book so very much. So yeah, and see, my nail colors also just kind of matches, but yeah, whatever it is. Okay, the last book for my April TBR is Christina Hanna, The Nightingale by Christina Hanna. And this is the historical fiction. This is my first book of Christina Hanna. And to be very honest, if I say about the book, like, okay, so let me just talk about the book first. Like, how did I felt about the book? So, uh, the story, the book is, you know, you will feel lot of emotions that will go inside you when you will read the book. You will feel anger, you will feel uh, you know pain, you will feel uh, kind of love, hatred, and what do you call it, helplessness, of not able to do anything. uh, that is the kind of emotions you will go through in the entire, I don't know if I'm missing something, but these are the kind of some emotions that you will feel while going through the book. Okay, and when I was reading this book, there are two sisters named as Vienna and Isabel. So Vienna and Isabel, the story revolves around the World War II, when Germany attacks Poland and France decides to join Poland to defend it, but is actually being occupied by Germany. How the German soldiers enter into the France, and killing of people, destroying Paris, all its beauty, all the historical uh, things which are being there, like whatever happens, like the enemies destroy your entire city or entire country in that scenario. In the same manner, the Isabel and Vienna get stuck in this war. Vienna has a husband who is they live in a countryside of France, and but due to the war conditions, it is being said by the government that any man between 18 to 50, I suppose, has to go for the war. So, although he was just a postmaster, he was a mail delivery man who used to deliver mails or to the people, but he was now forced to go. When he was gone, Vienna is now alone with her daughter in the countryside, where she is living. And Isabel is the younger sister. So Isabel and Vienna also has certain kind of a past, and Isabel is kind of a rebel in this scenario. Okay, Isabel is a rebel. She does not like to be get controlled. She wants to do whatever she feels. She will do that. Okay, whereas Vienna is a character uh, who does not react to many things. She just keep the things inside. If she is angry with you, she will keep it inside. If she is feeling hatred towards you, she will keep it inside. If she is if she has if she even loves you, she will keep it inside. So she keeps all the emotions inside and she does not show that. And there are certain rifts also that takes place between the relationship of Vienna and Isabel during their growing years, because of the things that happens in their family, because the mother is passed away, the father is also a war, has fought a war, but the war has changed him. So there are a lot of things which happens during their childhood. So uh, and Isabel feels that she was being discarded by her father and by her sister, and she was not being taken care of. She was being just thrown from one place to another place, one place to another place, from one relative to another relative, from one boarding school to another boarding school, and she kind of become rebels. So in this entire story, the Vienna and Isabel, what atrocities or what they go through separately, their journeys are being shown separated. According to the character of Isabel, how what she does in that war scenario where her country is being in the war, the soldiers are being defeated, and what she does and what goes in her mind, how she wants to help her country to get freed from the Germans. So her thing is like that, in a rebel, in a total destructive way that she goes through, that she goes on. Whereas Vienna, on the other hand, Isabel wants to protect her country, where Isabel wants to protect her family, that is her only daughter, which is there with her, and her husband is nowhere to be found. He has been captured. The German comes in, their lives get disturbed. There are a lot of things that happens. Uh, in the meantime, Isabel and Vienna has to live together. They have a lot of things which happens between them at that point. And then Isabel goes away. Then she comes back, and so no. So see, there are certain things that Isabel wanted to do which are right on her part, but that also puts Vienna at risk and Vienna family at risk. Whereas Vienna's thinking to save her family and to save her sister also is also the right thing. So there are no right and wrong in this scenario. Isabel is also right and Vienna is also right in their own ways, because they both want to protect. Okay, uh, there are so that's how the story goes, and how what atrocities both of the sister faces, what they go through physically, mentally, emotionally, like how they go through all these things. That is very terrifying. Nobody can imagine. And if you have read, like while reading the book, I have to literally open the internet and like read like what, if the certain terms are being given, so I have to read. There's a there was a day called, I think, spring day. I don't remember exactly, but I think there is a word called spring day or something like that. uh, the operation which is run by Nazis, okay, against the Jews. I think the spring day operation, if, I'm so sorry if I'm not right, I don't remember exactly. And actually I forgot to annotate it. So I don't know. Let's see if I'll might annotate it, so that I'll remember like which parts I like the most. Uh, so I think so. I had to literally pick up the go to the internet and see everything I can get the information from, and it's really heartbreaking to see that information which was being there. Okay, so these are the things. I think the writing is really beautiful. There was a part in this book around when just 100 pages were left. There were part in this book just before the 100 pages, like the last 100 pages. I was terrified to read further. There were two parts in the book that comes in where my heart was literally shattered. It was broken. uh, I literally had tears in my, I did not cry like badly, but yeah, I had tear in my eyes. My heart was beating so fast at that moment, at those two moments. I felt so bad. I felt like this is something which has happened to me or to someone very close to me. Like I was feeling that kind of a remorse, feeling that kind of a sadness, anger, frustration, helplessness. That what shall I do? What shall I do? How shall I do? How what shall I do? What can I do? And the last 100 pages are torturous. I mean, you you need to have that amount of strength to read the book, but the writing is beautiful. The you won't be able to put the book down. Okay, you will just flow with the story. Like, it's not just you're reading a book, it's like you're living the story. It's not reading the story, it's you're living the parts of the story, you're living the characters of the story. That what I felt about this book. So I have given it 5 stars. This is my only 5 star from the April TBR. And yeah, so this is all, these are all the books that I have read in April. uh, and just tell me if you have read any of these books that I have discussed over here, and what are your comments, what are your views on that. You can just tell me. And if you have liked this video and if you have liked my content, then please do like, share and subscribe the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Till then, bye bye.